Welcome to Photoshop Basics with Printgod. So I'll be going over the basics. I've had a few customers and followers ask me, just about Photoshop, and a lot of people are intimidated by it. And there's a lot of misconceptions about having to know the whole program because I don't. And half the time I don't even know the name of some stuff. I just know what it does. So bear with me. I might call something a thingy or this and that. But I'll just be going over a few basics, showing you a few tools, discussing some file types, how to save. Um, so let's do it. Thank you for trusting in me, and hopefully this video helps. So let's get right to it. So, um, if you don't know how to sign up for Photoshop, go to adobe.com. They make you download the full suite. Really not gonna get into all that right now because I really don't want to bore you. Kind of want to really just get right into it. But and if you don't want to pay for Photoshop, there is another website called Photopea that I'll also be doing videos on. And whenever I do, I would add it to this description. And I don't know how they're getting away with it, but whatever I teach you in here, most of the time you could do in Photopea and it's free. So that will be another series that I'll be trying to work on. So let's just get right into it. So not to take too much time. Okay. So I like to say that I'm not going to give you any official names for certain things because like this has a name, that has a name, stuff like that, right? But I like to say that Photoshop is paint and Word mixed together. Okay, so paint where you have like the paintbrush, the eraser tool, the boxes, the marquee tool, stuff like that, and then Word where you deal with text, right? And most designs are colors and text. So whether it's a picture full of colors or whatever the case, right? So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is ignore all this, right? Ignore all this. We're just going to go into file and we're going to just open. No, no, no. I am lying. That's not what we're going to do first. Okay. I literally just jumped to a whole nother plan or a whole nother idea. Okay. So, file new. You're going to learn something new today, man. Y'all gonna learn something new. I promise. I promise. I promise. All right, cool. I'm gonna get myself out there. Okay. So this screen looks really intimidating as well, but we're gonna ignore all of this and we're gonna go to right here. Okay. The main thing to do when you create a new file is to look right here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here and change that to inches. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just creating an artboard for my artwork, right? So imagine you have a piece of paper that's 8.5 by 11, right? Everybody understands 8.5 by 11, right? So let's just make a piece of paper. The orientation is going to be tall because it's a piece of paper. I don't want it sideways. And the resolution, which is dots per inch, the standard is 300. Okay. You can do 150, but I would just say do 300 just for like just an extra sauce on it. So, okay, don't worry about none of this stuff right here. I mean, that's just pretty much making your box square. This is dealing with what color profile you're going to use, be doing, but you don't need to deal with none of this. You want your background to be white. Okay, you could name it. I don't think I've ever named a file before, but let's just name it now for a sample. Okay, so the only thing you're paying attention to is this right here. Okay, that's it. That's the most important. Press create. So now we have our piece of paper. This is our canvas, okay? So I think normal Photoshop, I'm gonna move this over here just for you guys. Normal Photoshop, the toolbar is here, right? And then you have your layers here. And then you'll see that there's a lot of magic that happens up here depending on what tool that you select, okay? So here we have your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You see the size is right here, right? This is your layers tab. So right now we have one layer in here. That one layer is this piece of paper. So now what the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come grab the mouse tool And outside of me teaching you, you're able to watch a video on almost every tool right here. And I think it's every tool. Let me go down here. Yeah, every tool has a video on it to show you how it works. Let's just show you one of them.
The Move tool is an essential part of Photoshop, allowing you to move not only individual
He
layers,
sound
but
way more
entire
professional than me.
groups. This makes it a powerful
As
tool
soon
for organizing
as soon as I pressed this, I was like, he sounds way more professional than me. But
and arranging your workspace. With the Move tool, you can also rotate, skew, and scale your selections. Just make sure the Show Transform Controls options in the options bar is enabled. Once enabled, you'll see transform handles around the corners of your selection. Click and drag these handles to modify your selection. And don't forget, you can quickly access the Move tool at any time by pressing V on your keyboard. The Move tool also has an auto select feature, which allows you to easily switch between selecting layers and groups. To use this feature, simply enable the auto select check.
all right, I'm gonna teach y'all, not him. I didn't know they was doing all that. But look, okay, so if you just need some more in depth, right? In depth knowledge on every tool, there's a video for everyone. I would only be covering a few tools, but still, this is the first video. And if you would like for me to cover other things, please comment down below. Okay. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my name, right? So, we're going to look for the text tool, which is right here. There's a video for that. Click text. And as soon as I add text, you're going to notice here that it's going to add a layer. Okay. So, text, here's your layer that pops up, right? So, layers are stacked, right? The piece of paper's at the bottom, the text is on top of it. If I move this layer over the text, you now can't see it, right? That is the key to Photoshop. I literally just gave you the key to life right now, right? Layers. Every time I add something, it adds a layer, okay? So there's this text box, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type Printgod into it, okay? Then I'm gonna do what it said earlier as far as making it shows that this show transforms controls, which allows you to stretch it. Okay, so I'm gonna click that and then I'm gonna stretch it. So you see how it stretches proportionally in every direction, right? All I'm doing is moving my mouse, stretching it. That's all I'm doing, up and down, right? But if I hold shift, it now would only stretch in one direction. See that? All right, cool, huh? Okay. So so now what I'm going to do is going to go to edit, undo, because I want to go all the way back to my original small text. Okay. So now I'm also now going to go back to the mouse tool because I want to move it around. Right. Okay. So now I have print God here. And there's a few things that you can do with the text. So let me just show you one thing. So once the text is highlighted, right? So we're going to go over here to the layers tab. When you want to do something to a layer, you either can click it, right? You see how the layers are changing over here based on what I click. So I click the background, it selected it. If I click the text, it selects it. See that? Okay. So I'm going to click the text. And right now I'm going to double click this part of the layer, the text layer. And you see how this bar comes up? Okay, let me click off of it. And that's also a secret hack in Photoshop is to just click off the certain tools because you'll notice that when you're on a tool, you can't do other things like certain things like grab things, or if you're inside of the text, you want to be careful with certain Photoshop shortcuts on your keyboard, such as selecting V for the mouse or selecting M for the marquee tool, because it would just add to the text, right? So you would want to just come to the toolbar and just click off of it. And the deeper in Photoshop you get, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to get back into editing the text. So I'm going to double click the text. This like Microsoft Word type bar shows up. You can curve your text. But of course, it's going to give you way more options because this is a design software, not a tech software. So, matter of fact, let's just curve our text, right? See that? Cool, right? So, right now we still only have two layers. Now I'm going to go to the rectangle toolbox. But if you normally, if you just click a tool, it changes it, right? What we're going to do is we're going to hold it. And when you hold it, look what pops up, different tools. Okay. So the tool I want to try out is an octagon shape. So why do I have a star? How did that happen? Did I grab a star? This is clearly a polygon tool. Why is that a star? I don't know. All right. So we're gonna go back to the square and not make it advanced right now because I don't know why I did that. All right, cool. So we're going to make a square box. Okay. Now over here, you see how you have two layers, right? So we're gonna play around with the order of the layers. We're gonna make the piece of paper, the artboard layer at the top. Now you can't see anything. That defeats the purpose. That's why this is a background layer. It belongs in the background, right? So now we have our text layer. Ignore that. Now we have our text layer, which is in the middle layer. So if we were to, let's change the text layer. So we're gonna double click here so we can edit it. See the different bar shows up. You see this box right here that matches the color. You're gonna click it, and now you're able to change the color of the text. So we're gonna make it red. Okay. So we're gonna make it red so we can see it. So I want to come over here so I can unselect like how it was selected, and I'm gonna drag the text layer into the box, right? So as you can see, the text layer is in between the paper layer and the box. But what I want to do is I want the text layer to be on top of the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle and I'm going to drag it down under the text. You see that? All right. So now you're understanding layers are very important when it comes to the visual aspect of designing in Photoshop, right? Everything's about this, and this. Okay. You're literally grabbing tools over here to create things here. And this board this layers tab, no, this board is represented by this layers tab. Okay. And you're going to notice I'm not editing this stuff. Like I'm literally giving guys to you raw and uncut, mess ups and all. Like, so if that's an issue and you want me to cut out when I mess up, but I feel like Photoshop is about messing up and it's about just consistently like correcting yourself and not giving up. Personally, that's just me. So I want this box to be an outline. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make sure the box is selected, right? Then I'm going to come over here to this color, right? So as you can see, the box is black. This other color is a secondary color, right? It's pretty much called a stroke. I won't really go over that because this is kind of confusing as well. And I want you to more understand this tab, this, and this, right? But I'm going to come over here and click stroke, right? And I'm going to make it red. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to the stroke. You see that? You see how it's red on that? Okay. So I want the outline to be black though. And I want this inside to be clear, like white. So I'm going to come to this box, click this, make it white, make the stroke black, right? And now I'm going to make the stroke a little bigger and I'll have a black box, okay? So all I did was change the visual of the box. That's all I did, right? And I just want to just show you how these elements can be changed, but it's still in the second layer. That's very important. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to bring this back up top I actually want this box to be empty. So I'm going to select this empty looking thing. I don't know why they select that, but that means empty. Okay. So now it's empty, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this text layer back to the middle, right? Of the paper layer, which is the background and the rectangle. And remember, our box is now empty. See that? It's literally behind the box, but since the box is see-through, you can see through it, right? So let me go back and do that again just in case you didn't understand, okay? So, and what I did was I just selected undo, but I did the keyboard shortcut right here. So I just went back, right? So text layer on top of the box, right? But the middle of the box, when you select the box, you see, and every time you select different layers, you're gonna just start seeing stuff change. Really pay attention to things that are changing, right? Because when things change, that means you're able to go to that box and change things about this, right? You can change things about that, right? All right. Everything's about clicking, having your layers selected, right? And you see, I'm not even going over what any of this stuff means, just because half the time I don't even know what some of that stuff means. I just know the things that I'm showing you to accomplish the things that I need to accomplish, which is normally just making sure a design is lined up correctly, making sure the size is going to be correct. It's just simple tools. Right now, I've only gone over the mouse tool, the this rectangle box tool, and I think that's it right now, right? Yeah, I think I only went over two tools. But you see what I've? Oh no, lie. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. Text tool, three tools: mouse, text, box, right? And my whole point is just keeping it simple right now for just those three tools. I'm gonna just show you what I'm about to create. So let me also just go back to what I was saying I was doing. Okay. So I was gonna go back and show you how I put this behind it, right? So I'm gonna put the text tool in between the rectangle, bring it behind the box. See that? You can't see it. But now I'm gonna click the box, go to the fill, which is the inside of it, click this empty part. Now you pretty much can see through it. Okay. And I wasn't doing that to create a design. I'm just showing you how layers work, right? Okay. So we have three layers. I'm going to bring this text back up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get another text box. I'm going to add another word. Okay. Now we have one, two, three, four layers. Every layer is on top of this layer, is on top of our background, right? So what I'm going to do with our background layer is I'm going to lock it. And the reason I'm going to lock it is because I'm going to be doing a lot of clicking and I don't want to click the box on accident. Okay. See that I'm doing all that clicking, but the background never moves, right? But if I grab the background, it'll move if it's unlocked, just like the rest of the layers. And this checkered field right here means infinity, space. There's nothing back there, right? As you can see, the inside of the rectangle is empty. You see that? I'm moving the background. Inside of the rectangle is empty. And you also can see behind the letters that there's nothing there right here, right? That's very important because when you're saving your files, let's just say, all right, let me go back and unlock this. No, wait, unlock it. I love Photoshop. You see that? Try to give me the lineup. Okay, so let me teach you something new also about the layer tab. So you're also able to turn them off. So you see this eye right here? next to the rectangle box. If I click it, the rectangle goes away. If I bring it back, it's there. See that? Okay, and I'm able to do that with every font. I mean, with every layer. You can even do it with the background, right? And the reason why I brought that up now is because just in case you want to save this, right? If you saved it like this with the infinity background, nothing back there, you you will only be printing this. These three things you see, nothing behind them, right? But if you print it with this white box, which people do, and I'm confused. I don't know why you don't think that this white box is going to show up, but it is, right? Okay. So I don't know if we've even learned anything so far. I be feeling like I'm rambling, but I hope you guys are learning. So I'm gonna keep pushing through right now. All right. So we have one, two, three, four layers, right? All right. I'm trying to think of what other file thing I'm gonna show you in this video. Now that we know that I guess the polygram is a star, I'll rather put a star right here. So remember, go to the rectangle and you're gonna hold it. So we're going to the polygram, which we found out is a freaking star. So I'm going to put a star in this logo, right? All right, cool. So we're actually going to change this to Printgod All Stars. I mean, I think this is borderline plagiarism, but we all know what this logo looks like. But the point is, you're seeing how I'm creating this with this shape tool, text, shape tool, text, mouse, literally simple. So every time you want to put a new text, you can just click the text layer, right? And when you have multiple text selected, so if you click one layer, not I always just call everything text. I don't know why I'm doing that. And I struggle with trying to show on video because I'm saying so many mistakes. Maybe my brain moves faster and I'll get better at this. But I do appreciate you if you made it this far in the video, for sure. I really do. Putting a lot on the line for y'all right now, mentally. But okay, so if you select multiple layers, right? So I'm gonna hold shift to select another layer. This toolbar pops up, right? And you can click it, and what it does, it aligns stuff. So right there made it go like a center line. That's not what we wanted, right? I want them to line up because they're like this. I want them to line up like this, and then I'm gonna scoot them over. So I think they're kind of lined up straight. So now I'm just gonna scoot them over. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make them a little smaller. I feel like they're too big, so I'm gonna. Wow, this is ugly right now. All right, I don't know why this is just looking so ugly. Maybe because I wasn't really trying to design nothing. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, all right. So now I'm just trying to make sure everything is symmetric, and I'm just using the mouse, right? And then now I'm gonna just put a date down here. A lot of people are intimidated by Photoshop, and that's why I'm just making this video. Like, I'm not really even doing anything special, but mainly I want you to understand the tools and like what they do. And I don't understand really what all these tools do. I understand this tool, this tool, this tool, which we really don't need to use that tool right now. I'm gonna go over this tool in another video, which is the magic wand, right? Also, remember paint, right? I don't know if you guys are on paint. This is just a paintbrush right here. Look at this. This is just a paintbrush. You're literally arts and crafts. Like, hopefully, we're just not. Hopefully, we can get past the intimidation of all this. And but I don't know. I'm gonna just stop there. Video one. Appreciate you.